Hey guys, this is Cheeky Chipmunks coming at you with another little review. I thought I'd talk about Don't Breathe, because everyone is on that like flies on rotten food. Now, we gotta talk about this, because I think it is definitely more of a thriller than a horror. I know a lot of people have been saying, well, it's under horror, I feel is more of a thriller. It still has its scary moments, bad and jump scares. But let's talk about this film. Now, the basic of it is, we've got these three robbers, these house robbers, and they go after this blind man in this house. There's like no one else around, and they think, okay, this is like easy pickings on this. And then obviously, kind of, let's just say stuff happens, things are revealed about the old man, and suddenly he's not an innocent old man. Let's just say that. But let's start off with what I thought of the story of this thing. Overall, I quite enjoyed the story. There were moments where you had to suspend your disbelief a little bit, especially the ending. I was a bit like, there's a couple of plot holes that say I felt like it was like not like low-breakingly, okay, how the hell did that happen? But it's like you kind of thought like, well, if this old guy got this individual, I ain't gonna spoil who, half of me is like, surely at least someone would have noticed, considering as well, it's like, say this person had there's some linkage between the person this old man has in the house. But that aside, overall it was kind of like, it wasn't like bombastically like tons of plot holes. There's like one or two bits. And what I did quite like about it was the pacing. It was overall pretty good pacing, I mean, the way they slowly revealed this blind guy as he kind of got more and more dangerous and more stuff was revealed about him. And how the panic, let's just say, of the robbers as they're like, okay, this ain't no normal, just a blind man. He's a veteran as well, which is, I wouldn't go into a veteran's goddamn house, I wouldn't rob a veteran's house, even if it was goddamn blind. That guy's been in wars and stuff, but I did really like the story overall is paced very well. In terms of kind of like the acting, the cast, really good job by Stephen Lang. I mean, him as an old man was so ripped. Like, he was like, he's like these crazy bodybuilder guys you see. And he gave that brooding sense of, if he grabs hold of you, he could fuck you up. He could really destroy you. And, he didn't even have to say much. He only kind of said stuff towards the end of the film. But he still had that presence and the way he kind of, although I say that, I like the fact that also the robbers, the three robbers came in and they weren't stupid, like they weren't really, overall weren't like stupid, they were fighting back with you, kind of smart about most things. I will say, at the start, the amount of noise they make, although like this guy called Money was one of them, he's like, yo, he's gas, it's fine. And he suddenly just standing there, and before they were making a noise of where they were just like, he was shouting out to the other robbers, and also like he had a gun, and it was like a bottle. He used it as a kind of muzzler, but still it was a gun. And I was half of me was thinking, I'm sure there's got to be a better way. I know it's a lock. Sure, I guess there was no other way, but still the amount of noise they made at the start was a little bit like, you're not really being sneaky about this. But what I really liked is a majority of the characters in this film I liked. The only character I wasn't really fussed about was this guy called Money. And the actor called Daniel Zovato wasn't too bad. Like, he didn't do a bad job the acting. I just think the character itself, he doesn't really have fun with it. I don't know. I just didn't like him. Didn't like him like strongly, but it was a bit like you're playing gangster guy who's just about getting his money, and I didn't feel that character on that much, but I did really like how Jane Levy, first of all, doing Rocky, his character's name. I like her because again she was actually doing it kind of for a reason, like, because her home life in one of the scenes in the film, she has not got a perfect life. Her home life, you cannot blame her for wanting to do this and to try and get out. She wants to go to, I can't quite remember where, but somewhere in America. And I like how they also had this rule of only stealing stuff people I guess won't miss, and they're very we don't want to actually injure people, which is kind of nice. And Dylan Minnette as Alex, he's a friend zoned hard, he is super friend zoned. And it was like, at some points I was a bit like, really doing all this for like Rocky? But you know, you can kind of, it's not just for that, but you know, he still was quite a cool character. I liked him because he was a good guy. He was pretty smart as well. He was a thinking on your feet kind of person. I liked it. And overall, majority of the characters I liked. Still, Stephen Lang was still the highlight for me. And he did very well, portrayed the kind of like being blind actually pretty damn well. You know, he was not always on point. He didn't always know where they were. And generally, like, there's no good guy. Yeah, although they were stealing from this old guy who was, you know, had all this like life savings right in this cabinet, which at the start I was like, okay, yeah, they're nice people, but they are kind of doing this whole like blind guy over. But you find out stuff, and it's like, oh, he ain't so innocent anymore, which I like. And you know, it's again feeling like grey morals. You know, there's no pure good guy or no pure guys who are in the wrong, which I good. It's good. I liked it. I would again say with the characters though, and kind of characters. Although Stephen Lang was like, it didn't feel too unreasonable with how good he was, because he was obviously a veteran, so he was kind of like, you know, he had got really good at using like the sounds and stuff to kind of figure out where people were. It did get to some points where it was a bit like, okay, your aim is pretty good with a gun for a blind person, and also just for generally like somehow who just appear. I'm like, you seem almost too homed in. It's kind of crazy. But majority of the time it was realistic, and it was good. The set, like, I mean, the set of it was really good. But one of the stars, it was a house. I mean, the house, although from the app, it's like the TARDIS. You look outside, it's like, it's okay. It's kind of small, not super big, kind of a midway. But when you get into it, the fact that it's always like little separate corridors, and you know, they get deeper and deeper in, and then the way that this, you know, Stephen Lang is like in his house, so he really knows it, and you can see they're kind of panic because they're like, oh god. There's especially one bit where they're in this, it's kind of showing the trailer, and then it's this room where it suddenly switched lights off, the blind man, and you see them like, they just panicking and all that, and it's just, that's one of the really cool moments in one of the rooms and scenes I just liked. And generally, like, the camera movement as well for the house was very well done. You know, it was very claustrophobic, especially one scene where they're kind of going up, like they're doing their first bit when they get in the house and they're all splitting up and searching in rooms. And the camera does this thing where it goes up into one room, down into another room, it goes under the bed, reveals like this guy's like got a gun, and you know, it's really creative camera work. I really liked it. It was part of the thing which was keeping it quite tense for me. And also in regards to the sound, again, they didn't try and overpower it with the sound. They put it where it needed to be. It generally wasn't like overdone, and it was very effective when we needed to do it to kind of bring a little bit of tension, you know. Especially one scene which is really great where this guy Alex, you know, who's played by Dylan Minetti, is on this window, and you hear like the sound of the glass breaking as the blind guys are literally right there. That camera work and the way the sound effects are so well done, it's just like, you know, added to it so much. And that, I mean, overall, I think it is a really, really good film. It's not really a horror. I would never really put it as a horror myself. It's more a thriller. And it's like a home invasion, kind of like a very interesting kind of home invasion film which goes really wrong for the people in it on that. And overall, I would say it's worth seeing in the cinema, you know. It's very interesting, and I thought it was a good film. So that's my thoughts on Don't Breathe. If you like my review, put a comment on that and give me any tips. But yeah, have a great day and enjoy yourself, guys.